Come with me as we cover 3 days of the TORG Gaming Expo in 2024. My brother, that retro guy, and I made the 5-hour trip from Metro Detroit to Columbus, Ohio.
Well, you know you're road tripping in the Midwest when you got corn husks stuck in your grill.
And to say we were hyped would be an understatement. Our goal was mainly to hit up the vendor hall, finding some specifics for our collections, as well as talking gaming and more. Now, TORG is split up over 3 days, Friday through Sunday, with a majority of the events occurring on Saturday and Sunday. Friday opened up at 4 p.m. for early registration and badge pickups, as well as a preview night for half of the venue.
All right, we are heading down to the floor for the preview night. So this will be the first time we're checking that out. Say hi. Hi. There we go. All right, let's see what's down there.
We applied for and received media passes, and I was hoping that would allow us to interview some of the vendors before the hustle and bustle of the weekend, but that whole section was off limits to everyone except vendors, likely because of security reasons, so we just got to check out the event space and see what was happening here. Now, the event space is huge, hands down the largest gaming expo I've ever been to, and really the only thing I can compare it to for myself is the GABF in Denver, which was absolutely massive. There were arcade games, free play consoles on a mix of CRTs and LCDs, as well as a Halo competition setup, tabletop gaming area, and a very neat competitive Dr. Mario mode. While we didn't get to see it in action, there was also an IRL Mario Party board setup, which looked pretty great. There was an especially large presence for Halo and the fandom, likely because some of the special guests were voice actors from the series, but man did they go all out. Amazing cosplays and setups abound, and even this homemade ghost that was actually rideable. There was a charity vendor setup affiliated with Extra Life who had this Pokemon starter set for $15. My son had actually just asked me to learn how to play the game before I left, so this was perfect timing. I snagged it to gift to him when we got home. That said, this was truly a preview night, just getting a lay of the land. My brother and I found a barcade that was conveniently across the street where we played some games and met up with our friend DG. Let's see what tomorrow has in store.
We're going to be going to TORG, baby. Going to be buying some video games. We got that VIP access, so we're starting off an hour early, and hopefully we get the jump on some good deals. Let's go.
While we did bring cash, we also brought some items to trade, myself with Fire Emblem Path of Radiance case and manual only, Donkey Kong Country complete in box that's out of frame here, as well as Dragon Warrior 3 for the NES. Now, while we had media passes, we did also pay for VIP so we can get into the vendor hall about an hour early, and this was the line about 30 minutes before doors opened. And 30 minutes in line seemed to be the sweet spot as the line started to get quite long before doors opened. What's cool about TORG's VIP is that it was finite, so it really was an intimate hour to check out all the booths before the much larger crowd made their way in. You're going to see this booth a few times because both the vendor and the inventory were rad. Lots of great CIB items and Game Boy stuff, which I love collecting for Game Boy.
A lot of cool stuff here. This Game Gear back here really just keeps jumping out at me. It is such a good deal. This Game Boy Pocket here with the translucent shell. N64, $55 is a hell of a deal.
What's doing it for you?
They have a Glacier Game Boy Advance complete in box over there. I have some stuff to trade maybe, and we'll go from there. I was interested in that Glacier GBA.
Okay.
So, do you have the Dragon Warrior?
Yeah.
No, I got it.
I was gonna say you
So,
have it.
I don't know if you want to take a look.
120, but I said don't hold me to it.
You said, yeah, I'm glad you said that. Yeah. I saw them like, all right, I'll take that.
Yeah, if you would say, look at it,
Sure.
I think overall the conference should be in good shape. Worst case, if there's a better shaped one that I have here, I don't mind switching.
That's cool. I appreciate that. This was the one I had as a kid, so, you know. Oh, yeah, it's missing the back shell.
Yeah, okay. I knew I had the next one. Yeah, so I'll if you're they already trade also.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, for sure. So there we go, take a look at that. It does have some inserts there. He's being a gentleman and already saying that if I do get it, we can swap out the GBA, because this one's just missing the back.
You thinking trade-wise, because I know charting, I try to be at like 80% for trade.
Okay.
Charting has us at 99.
Okay.
Currently.
So you do like 80 for it?
So 80 in trade, roughly.
Yeah, I do 80 for it, then we can do just 30 for this.
30, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so we're trading Dragon Warrior 3. I'm going to be picking up a GBA in the box for $30 with the trade. So can we swap out the GBA? What a legend, this guy, huh? Well, hey, I appreciate you. Thank you. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's our first thing of the con. Let's go. All right. All right.
Another outstanding vendor was the Filthy Games Room booth, loaded with a ton of uncommon and super rare CIBs.
So they've got a JVC XI, which they have complete in box. That's probably one of 10 at the Filthy Games Room. I don't think there's many of these in the wild at all these days, so that's a hell of a find.
This Metroid set looked pretty cool, but the box was in worse condition than I wanted. We wanted to maximize our time during the VIP session to get a lay of the land, and with so many vendors, there was a huge variety of games and related items to look at. However, my brother had an eagle eye and spotted this obscure PlayStation 2 peripheral.
I always wanted one.
$40, you have it right now.
Does it have the power adapter too?
Yeah, power adapter.
Oh my goodness. You said 40?
40.
All right, I'm doing this for 40. I gotta do this. This will be so much fun to talk about.
After that is when the general admission started to be let in, so the crowd started to grow in size with the Halo team leading the way. CRT TVs had good representation at the show, like this Lightning McQueen set or a brand new in-box RCA True Flat, which is a set I actually own and have on my desk. It's a great 14-inch tube that has component in. This old school JVC that I didn't actually know was for sale, as well as a brand new in-box Trinitron KV24 FV300. With VIP hour over, we decided to check out the retro existential gaming museum that was set up. It's got a great wall of the history of gaming, having most consoles that were released. As far as the oddity as well, I'll let the man himself explain it.
Retro Existential is about all things gaming, all things history in gaming, and the weirdest and rarest things you can possibly imagine. We do not settle for simple, basic stuff. We want the craziest and weirdest around. If we don't have it here, it's not anywhere. So come here and check it out, all right?
Afterwards, my brother made a trade.
IPS modded Game Boy Color. So,
What did you pay for it? Did you trade?
trade.
What did you trade?
Contra Force.
Hell yeah.
So,
Nice. Pretty much 1 for 1 then?
yep.
Nice.
Oh, I threw in a Gyromite. So, good guy.
Cool.
Because it also came with the multi-cart.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Just kind of walking around and picking stuff up and looking at stuff right now.
Usually try to limit the
I think I'm gonna pick this up.
The more you buy,
In the
better
box.
deal
I
you
think it's new. Looks new. Yeah, it's got that cardboard seal, so this is new.
Really, it was like a complete in-box collector's dream, seeing a Turbo Express there, this ocean blue PlayStation 2, and just plenty of other really clean complete in-box systems. What's cool about the show is it's not just gaming, but a slew of other interests, from vintage toys to the VHS scene, retro collectibles, and even a tattoo alley. I don't know much about cosplay, but there were plenty of folks in character and even a competition going on. This Xbox was getting a lot of attention because it appeared to be a very rare prototype version with only 2 or 3 known to exist. It was causing such a commotion that the vendor ended up putting it away to stop clogging up the booth. Next up was a Super Game Boy controller, something we didn't get in the States, but a controller I would love to have as I enjoy playing my Game Boy games in the tube. The condition was great and the vendor accepted my offer of $80, which was super nice.
He traded that in for this.
It is 1 p.m. We just got done with the Metal Jesus Rocks panel. It was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It was a good time. Good questions, good answers.
Very good question.
So it flew by. It was an hour and it felt like it was only 20 minutes. But we're gonna try and find some more deals, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Thank you. So we got that retro guy taking a look at a Star Wars Episode 1 Racer 64. Ooh.
Yeah, that's looking pretty good.
You mean it looks terrible?
I mean, yeah.
You know, I should get it cheap.
I think this is fascinating just to showcase how like trusting this is. We got games in here that people would definitely want. Just hanging out.
That one. I think
kinda
that's
nuts.
pretty cool.
Definitely one of the better prices I've seen for a PS1 with the screen. Not bad.
We ended up at this booth that had a variety of complete in-box NES games, one of which was Castlevania, an all-time favorite retro game that I keep wanting to get CIB. This was the first booth that was also interested in my Donkey Kong Country, and they offered me $40 towards an item at their booth. Considering that the Donkey Kong Country cart itself had some broken tabs and the box had seen better days, I think that was the best I was going to get offered here today. So with that settled, I asked to take a look at Castlevania.
All right, if I open this up and all that too then?
Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. We got foam.
You see that Power Glove?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, manual.
And
so
a
it's
manual.
Case manual. So you got this at 180?
Yeah.
Any wiggle on that?
I can do 170 and then so 130 with the trade.
All right.
You do it?
Yep.
And there it was, I finally got one of my favorite retro games complete in box. And afterwards I found a booth with Castlevania 3 box and game only, and I decided to see if I could maybe just get the box.
Would you be willing to sell just the box?
That'd be $35.
Yeah, I mean, you got that at 40? I'll do 40 for the box. All right.
And bam, just like that, now I've got all 3 of the original Castlevanias for the NES with their boxes. My brother and I did find a vendor who was interested in both his NES boxes as well as my Fire Emblem Path of Radiance case and manual. Now, Dragon Warrior 1's box isn't rare by any means, but the condition my brother had it in was pretty solid, and he took the offer of $11 cash. I got offered $85 for my Fire Emblem Path of Radiance case and manual, so I took that cash and then promptly spent $70 of it on this Game Boy.
Check it out, an extreme green Game Boy Pocket, which it has a little bit of issue here, but it works, he says, so I'm ready. I'm ready to get this fixed up. I'm actually really excited about it.
A huge highlight for the weekend was getting to meet my friend DG2009 in person and spend some time together game hunting. Her and I were some of each other's earliest followers when we started making content, so it was super cool to finally meet up.
Okay, so far we have Soul Calibur, $15. Top Gun,
Hell yeah.
$5. Monopoly at Upgrade for me from Green Label to Black Label. ODT Escape. Real Fishing Upgrade from Green Label to Black Label. And then Arcade Party Pack, which is a party.
Oh, hey, there's like actual legit games in there. Though.
Yeah, yeah. Now I'm gonna opt to get this without the manual because
Probably
I
can
could
find
get this is a really good deal for $15 because normally it's like way more than that. So we're gonna go ahead and get it. Everything 40. Let's do the deal.
That's a good deal.
From that point, we just kind of wandered around the show and enjoyed each other's company while looking at the booths. We found a claw machine that had some 3D printed trinkets in there where I actually ended up winning one. But it was near the end of the show and the vendor hall started to close, so after walking around for about 6 miles, we said goodbye to DG and headed back to our room to figure out the evening.
That is it for day 1. I am absolutely bushed, and I'm going to bed, so let's see what day 2 holds in store for us tomorrow. We are walking in. It is day 2 officially. What do you think?
Day 2. Let's
Day
go.
2. So we're going to do some VIP scoping, and then we're probably going to go live after that. So, woohoo!
I didn't get to play this one, but I wanted to get some footage so I can check it out later, and I found out that you can actually wishlist this on Steam right now. There were a couple indie games that were on display as well. I wish I would have gotten more footage of it, but it was really cool to see, and there was people checking out all the booths. Today was mainly used to go live and tour the floor here on TikTok, which was honestly so fun to do in real time. It was my first time IRL streaming that wasn't just gameplay. But beyond that, we didn't really pick anything up save for a loose copy of Zombies Ate My Neighbors for $15. This was my first major gaming convention. It was an absolute blast. There were so many people here to share their love for all things gaming, and the energy throughout the weekend from folks was just incredible. I ended up getting nearly 300 clips of footage from the show floor, and this was mainly just the vendor hall. There was still an entire weekend's worth of competitions and events that went on. But I got to spend the whole weekend with my brother, sharing a common interest, meeting with friends, discussing this hobby of ours, and just having a great time.
And that is it for us for TORG 2024. We had a pretty good time, but we are tired. We still have a 4.5 hour drive ahead of us, which, you know, isn't that long, but still. But yeah, that is where we're going to wrap it up for coverage from the actual event, and maybe we'll hit a store or something on the way out, who knows. But for now, excellent event, 10 out of 10. I'd absolutely come back, and we will see you next year.